Hello, everyone. We're waiting a second to let everyone in, and then we can start the session. I will wait a few minutes, and then I will start the actual info session that will precede the matchmaking event. Okay, I see now 40 participants. Maybe we can start so that we have enough time for everyone. So, welcome everyone to the matchmaking event on funding opportunities for strategic digital skills development. Thanks all of you for being here on in the middle of the summer to know more about this call and to find partners. So this event is organized by the large-scale partnership for the digital ecosystem within the Pact for Skills and by 3 Skills Alliance projects that actually arise from the large-scale partnership from the digital ecosystem that are Arisa, Rewire, and Chase. So we also thank them for their collaboration. I am Caterina Bortolaso, project manager from the European Digital SME Alliance and coordinator of the large-scale partnership for the digital ecosystem. We can go to the next slide. So after these short introductory remarks, there will be a short info session where we will present 2 relevant calls in the area of strategic digital skills development. The first call would be an Horizon Europe call expanding academia enterprise collaboration, and our speaker will be Natasha Kuruki, Policy Officer at DG Research and Innovation at the European Commission. Thank you, Natasha. And there will be then the presentation of a Digital Europe call, specialized education program in key capacity areas, and it will be presented by Asia Sattler, Program Manager at DG Connect. Before starting, just a few words of how this will work. There will be a 10 minutes presentation for each call. And after each presentation, there will be 5 minutes for questions. So you can put your questions in the Q&A box. We will try to answer as many questions as possible, also in the chat. And some questions will also be asked live. Be aware that we only will have 5 minutes, so we will do our best. Okay, after this info session, we will have the actual matchmaking, and I will take the floor to explain you a little bit how it will work. Without any further ado, I will leave the floor to Natasha for the presentation of the Horizon Europe call. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you, Caterina. I hope that you can hear me. Well, my name is Natasha Kuruchki. I'm the policy officer at the European Commission, dealing in particular with the innovation policy and access to finance unit in DG Research and Innovation. I will try today to next slide, please. I will try today to be fast. First of all, to give you more space for questions, but I will just try to be brief on the European innovation ecosystem. So, if you look at the Horizon Europe and the Pillar 3 program, Innovative Europe, we have 3 main things. One is European Innovation Council, known as EAC. Another one is European Innovation Ecosystem, EAE, which I will be focusing on today. And the third one is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, known as EIT. My focus will be on the EAE, so to try to see how we can let's say, focus or how we can expand, but not only expand, but strengthen the European innovation ecosystem. And the program itself aims actually to create, let's say, an environment, an ecosystem which is, first of all, inclusive. Second of all, it's connected among different countries, different regions, etc. And it's efficient, meaning that it's good enough to support the scaling up of different types of companies, but also is relying on adoption of the new European Innovation Agenda, which happened 2 years ago, that has 5 main flagships and 25 main actions. And basically the idea behind it, which EA is fully supported the new European Innovation Agenda, is actually to develop new technologies, but also focusing a lot on deep tech, but at the same time to address what would be our global most pressing societal challenges, and also to help startups and scale-ups to bring them to the market and help them also, but also to help, let's say, in a sense, talent and the circulation of talent. And this is something that I will be also tackling very briefly here. My first slide is focused on European Innovation Scoreboard for the main reason, because if you look at the European innovation ecosystem, the main thing or the main challenges that we see is that there is a gap not only between the countries, but also there is innovation gap also between the regions. So when you see, like, let's say, between the worst score Romania and the best score Denmark, there is actually quite a substantial gap when it comes to innovation. And European innovation ecosystem actually aims, to be there to try to lower this gap in general. Next slide, please. Yes, what we mean by this, and why I have this slide, is because it's going to lead to the topic that I will be talking about: business academia collaboration and further expansion. It's like, how can we promote the circulation of the talent? So on one hand, to not to promote the brain drain, not to have people, talent going from one place to another, and then staying in this new place, but rather to have a circulation of talent, of knowledge, of experience, like skills, etc. And here on the map, you can see actually how is the inflow and outflow ratio among the member states and beyond, also among the associated countries. And we see that not many countries are actually benefiting from the talent circulation. They're rather in a red zone, which is actually having the outflow higher than the inflow of the talent. And this is something that we actually want to lower. Next slide, please. But then if you look at what we are doing at the global level, what we are doing at the European level, then what we are doing at the national level, I would start from how we can, let's say, stimulate this research community. First of all, we have to have researchers. We have to have this research community that can contribute to the innovation. But if you look at the statistics from 2 years ago now, you can see actually that Europe is really lagging behind when it comes to the number of researchers per million inhabitants. So, for example, if you see South Korea, that has 8,000 inhabitants researchers per million inhabitants, comparing to Europe that has half of that. If you look at our, let's say, I would say on one hand alliances and on the other hand competitors, you would see that actually only China is lagging behind us, but the rest of the world is kind of like going ahead. Next slide, please. And basically what we want with the European Innovation Ecosystem calls in general, and in particular this one on business academia, is how we can actually create this knowledge, boost this knowledge, make this knowledge, then to incentivize the economy, but also to make the economic growth. If you look at the share of the R&D personnel and researchers that occupy the whole labor force, you can see that in the European Union, we are seeing quite the progress in terms of like 20 years period, but there is more in reality to be done. Next slide, because I will try to be fast. I see the time is passing. And the next two slides are basically just briefly that besides the fact that, okay, we are talking about the research community, we are talking about the innovation community, the next focus is, of course, supporting women in particular in deep tech. And on the top of that, generally supporting female entrepreneurs. This is the next slide. You can if you can, yes. And if you see, when we look at the percentage, right, of entrepreneurs or the people who are doing any kind of entrepreneurship, you can see that this percentage is above 8% when it comes to men, and it's just below 4% when it comes to women. So this is something also that we should acknowledge, that also should be kind of like fostered and make it more possible actually for women to also, to boost them. But this starts from the very early age, because when you come to a certain point, it's kind of like too late. Some of our research showed that, and studies show that actually it really has to be nurtured from the very early stage. Next slide, please. Yes, so basically, if I want to give just this overview, let's say, of the whole European innovation ecosystem, we can see that nevertheless there are numerous things that have to be addressed, and this is the idea of these calls. So what we want to do, first of all, it's like towards the call that I'm going to talk about, business academia. We want basically to create the links and to create better synergies between research institutions and between the businesses, be it startups, be it startup networks, be it companies. So basically, then this research actually has a possibility to go to the market. With this in mind, a lot of knowledge and a lot of skills that are already in research institutions, they're not going to stay there, but then they can integrate better also to other innovation ecosystem actors and stakeholders in general. And when you make this kind of like collaboration, you are definitely, with an exchange of different kinds of knowledge and skills, you are led to improve these skills and competences in all kind of levels. So, and the last thing that I just mentioned briefly at the end was also that besides all of that, lowering the gap, lowering boosting the economy in this context, also impacting the talent flow, and let's say not fostering the brain drain. We are also focusing a lot on making sure that there is female entrepreneurship very much live and very much, let's say, nurtured in the context of our calls. Next slide, please. Yes, I will just be brief. So when it comes to the main call that we are talking about today, which is expanding academia entrepreneurs collaboration, basically for this call, these calls have been open in June last month, and the closing date is 19th of September. There is a total budget for this call of 2.5 million euros, and what we are aiming to do is basically to kind of like, we are expecting to finance around 5 projects, so meaning that each project would receive around 500,000. There are certain criteria, I will not go through them, but what we would like is that these project results should actually contribute to what we call it to 4 or even more of these expected outcomes that we would like to see. And we are encouraging basically all the research institutions, but also startups, industry, big corporations, so on, to also apply. Next slide. I see that I'm running out of time, so I will be quick. And basically, what we want to do, the main goal, let's say, of this call is that, okay, how can we make this collaboration between businesses of different kind? How we can make this collaboration between businesses and different type of R&I actors and stakeholders better? How we can make, in research institutions, how we can promote entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial role as such? with this in mind, how we can make better connected general European innovation ecosystem, and how we can actually foster and nurture the talent circulation. Of course, this all comes with the gender balance and trying to promote female entrepreneurship. That's I think next slide is thank you. So yes, that was. I hope I stay within the time. Yeah, that's it from me.
Yes, Natasha, that's perfect. Thank you very much. I see mostly a question about the co-financing. So how does the co-financing work? How much is co-financed by the European Union and how much is on the consortium?
This depends, but normally we never do more than 70%. But this depends because then once you are submitting, let's say, your proposal, you have to be aware of how much, let's say, your organization and the one or consortium as such, the whole, how much they're able to provide, and then you write it in the project proposal. But normally we do not go beyond the 70%.
Okay, so the rule is 70%.
This is normally, yes. So, but
Okay.
this depends also from call to call, and it's very important then to also in your precise particular proposal to write how much money you need as a whole. Let's say the project needs X amount of money, and then based on that, we as an organization / consortium, we are able to provide X amount of money. And also, what is very important is to have sort of like a proof of how this money will be available. Let's say how the consortium, let's say, or the project itself will be able to contribute with this money. This is very important.
Okay, thank you. That is very clear. I am asking the audience if there is any other question, also because Natasha will need to leave, so will not be able to answer any other questions at the end of the presentation.
Katerina, maybe I can just also, I would like to apologize with the fact that I have to leave earlier, but as I said before the meeting, I don't mind leaving my email in the chat. So if people have questions later on, and maybe with ASIAs and so on, maybe they might be inspired with different kinds of, questions that might not pop up to them right now. Feel free from my side to send me an email, no problem.
Of course, thank you. That would be very appreciated. So you feel free to leave
your
email in the chat.
Yes.
And
I will do it now.
Yes, so feel free to contact Natasha if you have any doubts concerning this call. I also reassure you about the fact that all presentations will be shared with you at the end of the event. I see now a question, maybe we have 1 minute to answer it. What specific type of activities should be included? I don't know if it's easy questions to
Yes, this is not easy because it's also very, very broad in a sense.
Yeah.
But I would say in a very brief thing, because we don't have much time, but anything that can actually kind of like sustain / prove this collaboration, or that it's generally expanding and making it better, it should be sufficient. But it has to be written. It has to be clear what it means. How is this collaboration going to expand this whole academia? I mean, the relationship between research institution and a startup, for example. I did not go to eligibility criteria because it takes too much time, but make sure that you read that also carefully, because very often one small entity or can make a huge difference and not be eligible for the call. So
thank you, that's perfect. I see just one very short questions about the fact that this calls Sofia Tsekeridou says the call asks for a CSA. Is this not funded 100%?
Yeah, I mean, well, CSAs, yes. In case of this particular, because I do not understand for the co-funding part, in terms of like if it's CSA, yes. in this case, it's CSA, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you ask me for the co-financing part, it's 70 maximum.
Okay. Okay. I think that is clear now. So I see now another question, if it would be the last questions. The call says that the consortium has to have a business representative. Does it mean a business association or can also be a one specific company?
No, normally it can be a company, but it has to be registered in the EU. This is tricky question. So I think it's better if you send me more concrete question on my email, so I can, because now I can reply like this very quickly without having the full context of the question.
Yes, I understand. I completely understand. So Natasha has left her email. I invite all of you that have further questions to write to her to have a more precise answer also for their specific case.
Yes. And somebody already sent me an email. I just read it, but Katerina said that the emails, that the presentations will be available for everyone. So
yes,
you will get my presentation as well. So
exactly. Thank you very much, Natasha, for your time.
Thank you.
And I will go on with the second speaker and the second call, the Digital Europe call. Asia Sattler, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. So now I will present you another call which is funded under the Digital Europe program. The topic specialized educational programs in key capacity area. Next slide. So the main aim of the Digital Europe program is to bring digital technologies to business, citizens, and the public administration, and so support the digital transformation of European society and economy. Under this program, we have also specific objective 4, which tackles the advanced digital skills. So here is just a list of all the topics we had or have in the first 4 years of the program. And as you can see, we are calling for the same topic, the specialized educational programs, in every year. We already had an info day for this topic, and the recording and the slides are available on the digital skills and jobs platform. And if you want to have more information about this topic, you can go there, and also there you will find information about how to apply to this topic, how to get a PIC number, and so on, and also relevant information about the lump sums. Thank you. Next slide. So the budget for this topic is 55 million, up to 10 million per project. The project duration should be 4 years, and the EU co-funding is 50%. And as I said, this is a lump sum grant type of funding. Next slide. So the main aim of this topic is to contribute to the digital decade target, which was set at 20 million ICT specialists employed in Europe by 2030. But this topic will also contribute for closing the digital skills gap. As you know, there is a huge demand for ICT specialists in Europe, but at the same time, there is a huge demand for dedicated training for ICT specialists in Europe. So therefore, the main objectives of this topic is the design and deliver of bachelor's, master, and doctoral programs leading to a degree, and to develop related self-standing models leading to a certification. And this has to be done jointly between the consortium partners, namely the higher educational institution, industry, and research partners. As I said, the designed and deliver programs and more modules have to provide students with the necessary theoretical and practical advanced digital skills and knowledge to contribute to the design, deployment, and use of the current and future digital technologies and applications. Next slide. So the consortium composition is set in the call text and is a minimum of 6 applicants from 4 different eligible countries. And the minimum consortium composition should be 3 degree awarded higher education institutions from 3 different eligible countries, 2 industry partners from 2 eligible countries, and 1 research organization or competence center. But of course, other organizations are able to join. Here in this call, we focus also on encouraging vocational education and training institutions to be part of the consortium. Next slide. So funding is provided for 4 different objectives. And the future consortium have to address objective 1 and another objective as a minimum, but the proposed project can also address all of the objectives of this call. It's their choice how they do. So 2 objectives are mandatory. Next slide. So for objective 1, which means design and delivery of programs and masters, here in these topics, we pre-selected the digital areas and specific sectors the proposers have to provide the programs and models in. So the consortium can choose to deliver specialized educational program for the development of advanced digital skills for the digital areas, which are virtual worlds, edge computing, quantum computing, photonics, robotics, and automation. They can also deliver interdisciplinary programs for the development of advanced green digital skills in the selected strategic sectors, which are agriculture, transport, renewable energy, waste management, and also interdisciplinary programs for the government and public sector. So each consortium has to clearly identify which is the main focus of their programs and self-standing models. So they have to select one of these 10 the pre-selected key digital areas or strategic sectors, and it is also expected that funding will be provided for at least the highest ranking proposals from each here listed key digital areas or strategic sectors. Next slide. So regarding objective 1, so the modalities of the programs and models depending like if consortium chooses to deliver joint double or single programs, or what will be the structure of the curriculum, or what kind of practical components the programs will include, and so on. It's really for the consortium to determine. What is relevant here, as I already mentioned, is that the programs and models are co-designed jointly between the members of the consortium. What is relevant here is also that the programs are offered to students by all higher educational institutions part of the consortiums, but the self-standing models can be delivered by any training provider part of the consortium. In the call document, we also set the minimum KPIs for the programs and self-standing models. So the consortium should enroll at least 150 students and additionally train 150 students. But please look at the call text to see the detailed calculations of these numbers. Next. So regarding objective 2, here funding is available for different initiatives to attract and retain teaching staff or experts to the programs. And also here the emphasis is given to attract female teaching staff to the programs. Regarding the students, it's really to attract students to the program, and this can be done, for example, also via financial supports to students, which can take either the form of scholarships or internships. Regarding scholarships, here the funding is also provided for international students which are coming from countries with whom the European Commission has ongoing international cooperations on the digital topics. Next slide. So objective 3 and objective 4 is provides funding for the support of the deliverable of the excellent programs. So objective 4 provides funding for upgrading digital solution, equipment, and infrastructures. And here the focus is on interoperability of equipment in higher educational institution. Regarding the partnerships here, the consortium has to be long-lasting and sustainable partnership with a higher degree of integration. Next slide. What is really relevant also here is that the future programs of projects will have to collaborate with the digital skills and jobs platform, and on the platform they will have the possibility to promote their designed programs and models. The future projects will also collaborate with the project coming out from the topic advanced digital skills analysis. This is will be a coordination and support action. Will provide different networking activities, community building activities, exchanges of good practices for all the digital programs. Of course, it is also encouraged to build, to seek complementarities and synergies with all the other EU or national initiatives from the selected digital area or specific sectors. Next slide. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Asia. You were perfectly on time. We have at the moment one question that I think can be of interest. So, do clusters qualify as industry partners?
Like clusters of companies, you mean?
I guess so, yes.
I think if you're not like industry partners, like, you know, you in the applications, it needs to be explained why you are applying as an industry cluster, industry cluster, and what can you bring, like industry related. You maybe have the industry related skills, industry related resources. What can you bring to the program?
Okay, so that is more about that than actually having a particular status or juridical status.
I would say that the consortium, as I said, it should be a minimum of 6 partners. Two should be industry partners, but you know, in the consortium also other relevant partners can be part of. So if you have something contribute to the programs, so it's good that also these partners are part of the consortium.
Okay, because clusters are actually gathering different kind of stakeholders. I think this is a question that maybe can be answered in a second stage. There is also possibility to put questions in the actually to check in the Q&A section of the call, or in any case you can feel free to contact us and we will try to make it clearer for you. I see another question. Are large industry partners eligible partners or only SMEs and startups?
In the call text, we said that the industry partners have to have headquarters in the European Commission or the eligible countries. But we said also the preference should be given to SMEs and startups, but large industry partners are not excluded.
Okay. I see also here that the topic of clusters is very much of interest. So I think it's a good opportunity to flag it. So maybe you can also add the Q&A. Frequently asked question about it on the website. I see many people asking more information about the eligibility of clusters.
Yes, we can definitely provide a reply on the funding and tenders portal, yes, under FAQs.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you very much, Asia. I don't see any other questions for the moment, so I thank you and also Natasha that has already left, but I know that I have already thanked her before. I would now go to the second phase of our meeting to illustrate a bit how the matchmaking session works. So if you have already invited people, you should just check your agenda. But if you haven't done it, you can explore the participants list and click invite to send a personalized meeting request. And the request should be pending or accepted or denied. So you see the status of your request in the platform. Next slide, please. And you will have the chance also to check the status of your request in the notification. If your meeting has been accepted, you should check the My Agenda section. So you see in the right of your screen the agenda section. You click on it, and then close to the event agenda, you will find your own agenda. In this situation, you simply click enter meeting, and you will be connected to your bilateral meeting directly. So the platform will allow you to have a video call with the stakeholders that you invited. You should have received already also in your email a recap of all your online meetings, so you will also be able to join the meetings by that email. I think I told you everything about the session. If you encounter any issues, you can contact us at support@partnerall.eu. And also don't hesitate to contact the digital large-scale partnership at digitallsp@digitallsme.eu if you want to know more, or if you want to become a member. So thanks to all the speakers and thanks to all the attendants. Now enjoy your matchmaking session.